am here with Unity Christian School Lady Lions head basketball coach Mel Thornbury. We are going to discuss the upcoming season and the Christmas tournament. It's good to be here with you today, Coach Thornbury. As you get ready to start the season, tell me about some of the goals and aspirations you have for your team coming off of the mountaintop last year. Obviously, I'm sure expectations are high, but talk about this year's squad.
So we graduated a few seniors last year, and after finishing first in state, this year's senior class, I have 4, and they put in a ton of work this off season, and I can tell you right now, if we were to talk to them, they're planning on making it all the way back to the state championship again. We had our first scrimmage game last week, and it's just really good. I'm very excited about what each of them are going to bring to the table as far as their skills on the court and their leadership off the court and in practice, and they're focused and already talking about what they're planning for the season. And as long as the Lord blesses us with good health and protects us from injuries, I think that we'll have the capabilities of making it back there as well.
Talk to me about some of the leaders that are going to have to step up and play that role for this team this year in order to accomplish those goals.
So one of my seniors, her name is Emily King, number 11. She's our point guard. She has put a lot of work in this offseason into her shot, but more than anything into her ball handling skills. She takes a lot of pride in she does not want anyone to be able to press us full court and be successful in that. She wants to, be in charge and put people in the right places. I think that she understands that it's not her job to go out and score, 15, 16 points a night, but to put people in the right place and make the next pass in order to set someone else up. I also have a couple of twins who are seniors. They're Andy and Gabby Creel, and they have put a lot of work into their shots and handles in the past. They've been really known as defensive anchors for us. They fly around and just wreak havoc on whoever we're playing. And this offseason, they said, hey, we want to be more than that. We want to jump in on the offensive side of things. And so they work on how to get to the rim and when to get to the rim. And so I think that if those 3 right there are able to contribute in how they want to. I also have a girl, her name is Tay Johnson, and she's from the Bahamas. She came to Unity as a sophomore and really began to learn the game and from a United States perspective. And I think that this year she's right at 6'1", and she is vocal. She has come back this year, and she is vocal because she understands what her role is out there, and she is putting people in the right places, seeing it all. And in the scrimmage game, I really got to see that come to life with her just controlling the paint. And I don't think anyone got a free shot up as long as she was in the game. She had a hand in her face, or I think she had 3 or 4 blocks in the game. And so those are the 4 seniors, and I really think, and I don't have any juniors, so everyone else is a freshman and sophomore, and they're really looking up to those 4 to, hold the team down, keep everyone focused, and I think those 4 have, they're 100% capable of doing that.
All right, so you've touched on your seniors here, and obviously they've put a lot of work in the offseason, but talk to me about preseason practices, strength and conditioning, how you're getting your team ready to play as the season nears.
Yeah, so my girls, I feel like this year, going into my 7th season coaching at Unity, I have more depth this year than I have ever had before. So practices right now are extremely competitive. I actually told them at the beginning of the season, I want you guys to, having 4 seniors, I've never started my girls just because they're a senior. I make them earn those spots. So throughout this whole preseason practices, we've had competitions almost each day, and I've tallied up scores and kept up with how they were doing, how they were shooting on this particular day, and things like that. So I had a couple new girls come into the program, and I wanted to give everyone an even shot as to who wants to start the game, who wants to be a starter. And so my practices right now are very, very intense per se, because I think everyone on my team wants to start and thinks that they possibly can start. So they're competing in practice like I've never seen them compete before in our scrimmages and things like that. It's just really incredible to finally have 11, 12 players that can get on the floor and play ball and push each other to get better in practice. And I think that that's going to be huge for us.
With the leadership that you have in place already with those 4 seniors, what style of play can we expect to see? What brand of basketball will we see from the Lions on the floor?
I'm expecting to have a 10-man rotation, 10, 11-man rotation, and for us, may not beat people in the first or second quarter, but they're going to be tired of someone in their face by the third and fourth quarter. Our goal is to wear people down, push the ball on fast breaks, and play full court man most of the game and just totally eat people up. That's the plan.
I was talking to Coach Fisher about this. This is a question I'm asking mainly on behalf of WLAQ. They've covered the Christmas tournament for a long time, and it means a lot to everyone that is a basketball fan here locally. What does it mean to you to get to participate in that as a coach, and then what does it mean to the players as well to get the opportunity to play some of these local teams for the Golden Ball?
I think that it's probably one of, if not the high of the season, definitely second as far as second place to the state competition. I know that for me as a player, that was always a big deal. Playing at Coosa, getting to play in the Christmas tournament, showing up and showing for all those people. It's just really a basketball time in Rome. And I think for my girls to be included now I think this is our 4th year, for our girls to be included it may be my 3rd year. For them to be included and a part of that, it's just, at first they were really nervous. Now it's just a part of our season. And so they're ready to rock and roll. I think that, right now, as we're talking and getting ready, I don't think we play a region game until after the Christmas tournament. So right now, all of our practices, everything's focused on, how can we prepare? How can we be ready if we face Rome, if we face, whoever we're going to face, how can we prepare for them? And, it's just a lot of fun. It's another thing to look forward to in the season, and give something to look forward to in December.
Well, relatively speaking, Unity is the new kid on the block as far as building y'all's athletic program. Tell me what it means to be a part of this Unity Christian School community, the support that you have here, the athletic department as a whole, and just what it means to be a Lion.
I grew up playing sports my whole life, being a Coosa Eagle, and then even going on and playing at Berry. And I had a lot of good coaches, and I really feel like I had a lot of good coaches that taught me the game, but being able to be at Unity and, it's more teaching the kids that it's more than a game, that it's a tool. I use coaching basketball as a tool to prepare these girls and young ladies to go out and grow the kingdom, and how to love one another, and what commitment looks like. And it's a tool, and we can come along beside them and, teach them the game, but also teach them how to be young women and men who are going to go to battle for their faith and battle for Jesus Christ. And I think that's huge. I grew up in Rome my whole life. I didn't really understand what Unity was all about. Now I can't imagine being anywhere else, or even having my kids anywhere else, because I know what we're teaching, and I know what they're learning in the classroom, and then backed up on the football fields and basketball courts and soccer fields, and all of that just getting backed up by their coaches. And why are we doing what we're doing, and how do we do what we do and be a light for Jesus Christ? And it's incredible. It's incredible to watch the Lord bless the programs and bless what we're doing there. And I have 100% faith that He's just going to continue to be. He's going to continue to bless us with athletes and, the support we need to continue on building His kingdom ultimately.
All right, I'm here with Coach Davy Fisher, boys head coach here at Unity Christian School. As you get ready to start the season, what are some of the goals and aspirations you have for your team this year?
Year 2 here at Unity, Honestly, I'm still in a building process, building our culture, building our skills, and building our mindset. My goal is to shift our approach to practices and games, and help them understand that we can compete, and have then that attitude to show up no matter who we're facing against, that we can compete. And so I have a mission, and I have I guess it's a goal, but it's more of a mission for us, and we repeat this every day in practice. And it's 2 words, and it's very simple. It's get better. And so I believe that you can win a game on the scoreboard, but lose it because of how you played. And I believe that you can lose on the scoreboard, but win the day. And so the record at the end of the year and what happens on the scoreboard is not my end goal. Championships are not my goal. Most people, that is. They want to win championships. I want to create champions. What is a champion? Anson Dorrance says the vision of a champion is bent over, drenched in sweat when no one is looking. What is a champion? A champion is someone who shows up and operates with integrity and with high character. That's a champion. And so that's my goal, is to do, as a coach, is to inspire and to lead a group of men that are champions for Christ, that are champions in our community. But most people would say they want to win a championship, but that will only, for me, be a byproduct of what we create.
Now, I heard you during the media day, you were talking about representing the kingdom. Talk about the Unity Christian School community, what it means to be a Lion, and the support that you get here for the program you're trying to build.
I got out of college coaching, and I came home, and I told my parents, and I was praying and asking the Lord for guidance and direction. And he opened the path to be here at Unity, and I don't think it was by coincidence. I think he brought me here for a reason, and it's because of my conviction for a biblical worldview, Christian education, and for a platform to use the name of Jesus in everything that I do. And it's a joy to teach here. It's a joy to coach here, because not that I can't use the name of Jesus in other places, but I have the ultimate freedom, and I get to do it in timeouts. I get to do it on the floor. I get to do it in the classroom. I get to do it in the hallways. And when there's disagreements with me and another player, and at the high school level, you have disagreements with parents. That's just what it is in high school coaching. Now we are able to have a common foot, a common ground. I have a foot to stand on. We have common ground to work through disagreements. And it has been the best part about having conversations, because I get to have, instead of breakdown conversations, I get to have breakthrough conversations and point it back to Jesus, point it back to the cross. Why are we doing this? Why is it this way? Why does it happen this way? Understanding that life isn't fair. God is fair. But how does that work on a context of sport and academia? And being at Unity is a really special place. I love the people. I love our mission, and it's a privilege. And so what does it mean to be a Lion? Being a Lion is someone who is willing to take a risk, willing to have the courage to face uncertainty like a lion would. And so there's a lot of things uncertain, and what our school faced, I wasn't in the mix of it when it happened, but hearing stories and talking to staff, like how we were able to not just survive COVID, but thrive, that is because of people willing to take leaps of faith and to put their actions behind their words and walk it out and say, we trust the Lord. And so it's a really cool place. I'm stretched on the daily because I'm around like-minded people, and they get to point me to Jesus when I'm having a hard time. And so I'm incredibly grateful, and Unity Christian is the place that I'm glad to be.
Now, let's talk about your team. If you can, just identify some of the leaders on this team, the kind of growth you've seen from them since you've been here, and what we can expect to see from them out on the floor this season.
We're a young team. We've got some experience, but really it's very limited. So who's going to be our leaders? We're going to find out. We're going to find out real soon. I've got some guys that I think that it might, but I've learned this in coaching, that I can try to appoint leaders, but the guys will end up finding that out for themselves, and it's not always who the coach thinks is going to be the leader. And so I'm looking for guys to walk into that mold that I'm talking about and being a champion, meaning you're a locker room guy. When I'm not around, who are you? When I'm working with a group of players on one end and you're over here and I'm not watching, who are you? And so we're going to find out who those leaders are. I'm excited to see who it is. I'm not going to put that on a certain player, because I think the best teams are not coach-led teams. I think they're player-led. And so I'm going to be giving more autonomy as I get involved in this. As I'm with this program, I want to do less and have them do more. So I think I'm just as curious as you are.
All right, so talk to me about the work that's been put in to get ready for the season. I mean, the strength and conditioning, the X's and O's. How are your players preparing for the season?
All but 4 of my guys play football. 2 of those guys run cross country. 1 of those guys is clay targets. So that leaves me with 1 guy who is not playing a fall sport. And so basketball has been hit or miss at the varsity level. We've had some days to kind of come in and get shots and things like that, but honestly, it's been an adjustment. We're a good football team this year. As you know, this week we're playing for a state championship and an 8-man football. So it's a good thing for our school. It's adversity for us basketball, but I believe adversity strengthens. I do think that there's going to be a cool bond with some of the guys as they're playing these other sports together that are outside of basketball and able to see that chemistry on the court. So I think that'll be to our advantage. But getting ready, there hasn't been as much. So my shift has been towards the middle school program. I'm also coaching the middle school team this year. So we've had 3 days a week in preseason where we were on the court getting 30-minute, skill sessions in, and I had at least 3 groups a day on those. So I was getting those guys a lot of reps. So our middle school program is walking in a lot better, on a much better foot. And I'm excited about that because they're the future generation of where this school is. And so I, could be upset of how much time I'm having to spend with that group, but I'm excited because I'm getting to pour into them. And I probably am not going to see any fruit from that, probably even this year, but I'm excited about the seeds being planted and to see some of their journey. I've got 2 middle schoolers particularly that have really bought in to some of the training, and to see them turn a corner here as we just went through tryouts and went through evaluations, and then we had our first middle school game, and so seeing some of those guys be able to do some things they hadn't done before, so that was a really cool moment for me as a coach, to prepare for the season, to prepare for the program.
Touch on this for just a second. You've got these kids are staying in shape. If they're running cross country, and they're playing football, but basketball shape's different. Every sport's a little bit different. So what will these guys coming in from football and other sports need to work on to be physically ready for the basketball season?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hope that these guys won't be throwing up, but we're going to be running. And we're going to test their approach and their mental toughness. At the end of the day, champions are tough people. And so conditioning breeds tough people. And so it's going to be a big emphasis in our practices here pretty soon. Will we get there by December? No. But, taking a long-term approach and having them ready, by the end of January, beginning of February is where we're looking to be.
Relatively speaking, here in Floyd County, Unity's the new kid on the block. Still a young school, a young program. Talk about what it means to participate in the Christmas tournament. That's a wonderful local tradition, something that WLAQ's been covering for a long time. So talk about playing the other local teams. I noticed that looking at the schedule the last few years, y'all have had the opportunity to play a lot of the county schools. Talk about what that means and specifically what it's like to prepare for the Christmas tournament.
It means a lot. Speaking from a player that played in it, it was an awesome experience. And some of those games are the ones that I remember the most. It's a chance for, when I was in playing, we got to play Rome. We got to play Darlington. We got to play these other teams that we didn't always get to compete against, Rome being a much bigger school than us. So I grew up an Indiana fan, so thinking about back in the day when Indiana had one basketball state tournament and anybody in any size, got the whole Hoosier story, that's the closest thing that we have in this area to that kind of experience. I'm excited for Unity to be a part of that process. I'm really thankful for those involved that made those decisions to involve us. I think we're at a point as a school where we're in a trajectory where we'll be able to, continue to grow and compete at that local and state level. Are we there yet? Not yet. I'll be the first one to tell you that. Not going to pretend like we are, but I think we are making steps. And so no matter what, I think there's something about high school sports where you get to play against people that are across town that just doesn't I played college basketball and it's just not the same. And even if you're playing at the highest level, the games that really mean the most, like you've got Duke and North Carolina. Why is that so awesome? Because they're so close. Now there are some big games and big teams that play that are not close, but at the end of the day, your rivals are the ones that are right next to you. And so that's a cool feeling, and those are some of the most packed games that these kids will ever get to play in their entire lives. And so, yeah, we're extremely grateful. We're excited to compete, and, yeah, ready to go out and join the community.
Are there any other thoughts you'd like to share about your team, Unity Christian School, that I didn't cover?
We are here, and I am here to point people to Jesus. And so if there's anything ever for me to say is to call people to him. And so I'm thankful for this opportunity as a basketball coach to, point young men to the gospel. But also I'm so thankful for a school that gets to point others to that. I mean, every game, every practice, we're together. We're praying for our community. We're praying for our opponent. We're praying for our mission. And so we're humbled that we get to be a part of all of this, and just hope that everything that we do and everything as a basketball program is something that glorifies the Lord. And so we appreciate the interview, appreciate being a part of V3 and and WLAQ and everything all around. So it's a good thing for Unity, and I'm excited to be here.